Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. Today, we'll be taking a look at my top 5 edge rushers in the class of 2023. Before we get started, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get things started at number 5. At number 5, we have Mateo Uele. He's headed to Oregon. Mateo is a 6'5", 260-pound pass rusher from the powerhouse that is St. John Bosco in Southern California. Physically, Mateo is there already, and once he turns the weight into more muscle with the frame that he could be a very good player once he fills out his frame. He's already 260 pounds, but even he would probably tell you that he needs to add more muscle. He moves very well at his size, and he was also a very talented tight end in high school. He has great ability and multiple pass rush moves to get to the quarterback, but he's best when he's playing the run and setting the edge. He also has a great tendency to bat down passes at the line of scrimmage. I think that's a great tendency to have. When he can't get to the QB, he can still have an impact. Once he arrives at Oregon, he needs to get faster and improve his short area quickness. If he does that and gets more explosive, we could be talking about him in year 2 like we are JTT from Ohio State. They're both big jumbo athletes coming off the edge that have all the traits to be a fantastic edge player. I think Mateo is more of a project than JTT was coming out of high school. They're both from the West. They're both basically the same kind of player. They play very similar. I think JT, he was just more polished as a pass rusher. He had more go-to moves. For Mateo, he's going to have to develop those, but he's number 5 for me just because of his size, his frame, and what he can become. Coming in at number 4, we have Damon Wilson. He's a Georgia commit. Damon Wilson is a 6'3", 225-pound edge rusher from Venus, Florida. When you watch Damon Wilson, you notice how polished of a pass rusher he already is. One of the faster first steps in the class, and his initial burst is probably his best weapon. He needs to get stronger once he gets on campus. He's definitely got some work to do there. I expect him to get up to 245 or 250 pounds over the course of his college career. So we're talking an additional about 25 pounds or so. His frame will allow him to do that. He can easily carry 250. Just watching him move, I don't have any doubts that as he gains weight, he'll lose that burst. Development wise, he's going to Georgia to play for Kirby Smart, so we know he'll be in the best position possible to be successful. I think Damon Wilson also brings a coverage element to the game. From the edge position, he not only can rush the passer, but he's so agile and can move great in space that's going to allow him to guard the flats and even backs coming out of the backfield. I really like Damon Wilson as a prospect, and I can't wait to watch what he does in year 1 under Kirby Smart. Coming in at number 3, we have Yonze Pierre. He's headed to Alabama. Yonze is a 6'3", 230-pound pass rusher from the state of Alabama. Now, you want to talk about improving your stock? Pierre was the highest riser in the recruiting rankings over this past month. Why, you probably ask? Well, his upside was finally getting noticed, not only by me, but by professional scouts and people who work for these recruiting services. We're talking about an insane athlete getting after the quarterback here. Elite burst and speed. He looks like a defensive back and a linebacker body out there. When he reaches the ball carrier, he ends the play in a violent fashion, leaving very little doubt about the tackle being made. Hearing what reporters are saying around the Alabama program and reading the stuff online, it sounds like his measurables were not verified for nearly a year and a half. And that's part of the reason why he was such a low recruit. But according to the All American Bowl website, he has 9.5-inch hands, and all of his testing times in the 40 and the shuttle were all verified. When you combine the testing numbers with his tape, you can see why the sky's the limit for this kid, and I can't wait to watch him at Alabama. Definitely, since he's going to be opposite of guys like Dallas Turner, Jeremiah Alexander, and another guy I'm going to mention here later on in the list. But coming in at number 2, we have PJ Adeboye. He's headed to Oklahoma. Adeboye comes in at 6'4", 240 pounds from Kansas City, Missouri. Physically, this kid is already there. We're talking 6'4", 240. Now, even though he's already there physically, I expect him to put on about 10 to 15 pounds of muscle just because his frame can carry that. To put things simply, this kid has the potential to be the best player in this class by the time he's a sophomore or a junior. Coaches that I've been around on social media, or just people that have been around him, they say he really doesn't know how to play football right now. Now, I'm going to take their word for it just because they're around the situation. He's definitely newer to the sport, and he hasn't fine-tuned his pass rush moves at this stage of his development. Now, hearing that is scary, especially for the offenses that are gonna have to play against him. He's already so good and one of the best players that hasn't even been taught the game or how to excel at his position. Right now, he owns all the traits and all the measurables to one day be a first-round draft pick, especially at such a high-value position like edge. It's scary to think what he could do under a guy like Brent Venables, and I can't wait to watch it. Coming at number one in our final top edge rusher is Keon Keely. He's headed to Alabama. Keon is a 6'5", 245-pound edge rusher from Tampa, Florida. Now, unlike PJ, Keon might already be the best player in this class. There's definitely an argument to be had there. He's a monster and big time difference maker getting after the quarterback. Physically, it looks like Keon could line up at edge in the next Alabama practice. He looks like he can literally step on campus and play tomorrow if he had to for Nick Saban. With that being said, though, he could still add about 15 to 20 more pounds. He already has an arsenal of pass rush moves that he uses. He's also very good in the run game. I know a lot of the time, sometimes great pass rushers may struggle in the run game, but that's definitely not the case here with Keon. He takes on blockers with brute force and sheds them to make plays. He plays with such force and uses power to get to the passer, but when it comes to using finesse in his hands, he could definitely improve in that aspect. I personally can't wait to watch how Keon will play, how much he will play in year one. I already talked about Yonze Pierre. The Alabama is also bringing in Quay Russaw, who barely missed this list of a top five. He's probably 6 or 7 for me, ranking the edge in this class. But you have Dallas Turner, Jeremiah Alexander, as I said, Quay Russaw and Yonze Pierre. They're all going to battle for starting spots out at the edge and not just starting spot because Dallas Turner is going to have one side. It's just who's going to be on the other side. They also have Jihad Campbell. Now, I saw him play middle linebacker against Kansas State, so it'll be interesting to see how Saban uses all of these guys. Personally, I think they're all talented enough to play year one, but we're just going to have to find out, I guess. And the spring game will tell us a lot in that aspect. With that being said, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if this is the kind of content you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.